Soleto, Africa. You already know why we are here. We are embarking on a very peaceful protest against the state government, the Edo State House of Assembly, for their proposed ceding of Edo communal land to the monstrous herdsmen in Edo State. We are aware of the criminal activities of these herdsmen in our state. They go to farm, destroy our farmlands, kill our people, rape our women, and it has been a very serious concern that has caused serious security challenge in the state and in the nation at large. Over time, we have prevailed on the state government and the federal government to put a stop to these herders' menace in our society. At the time, we are also aware that the South-South governors met in the South-South Governors Forum and agreed on a single decision to put a stop to open grazing in the southern region of Nigeria. All the states in this region have implemented the anti-open grazing law except Edo State. We have prevailed on the state government to, with immediate effect, transmit the bill to Edo State House of Assembly to legislate upon, so that we can have a law that prohibits open grazing and as well as protect the farmers and our communities. Specifically, October 11, 2021, the state governor called a town hall meeting to discuss way forward on the activities of the herders in the state. In that meeting presided by the state government, in that town hall meeting presided by the state government, the governor specifically said that Edo State does not have land to give to herders or to cattle rearers. That cattle rearing is a private business, just like every other businesses. And went further to say that any individual or group of persons that want to go into cattle rearing business should go and negotiate and acquire their land for their business. So we are happy that at the time the governor have taken sides with the people. But very unfortunately, shortly after that town hall meeting, the governor of Edo State, His Excellency Dr. Godwin Obaseki, visited the Aso Rock, met with President Muhammadu Buhari. After pepper souping and bestouting with the president, he suddenly turned around against the Edo people and said that he has gone to Abuja to solicit for funds to establish ranching in Edo State. And it was just 2 days before that day that the state governor said that there is no land, or rather, I don't think government do not have land to give to individual businessmen. We, at the time, in Soleto, in Africa, to hit on the point why we are protesting this morning, there is a bill in the Edo State House of Assembly, Section 4, Section 5, Clause 57 of that bill suggests and propose that 10 to 20% of every arable land in our community will be given by Edo State government to these herders to establish rural cattle colony for cattle rearing. We are coming out this month to say no to cattle colony in Edo State. To say those that are ready to enter into cattle rearing should go and establish on their own. In Soleto, in Africa,
in Soleto.
DJ. So, comrades, so please let's march peacefully to the road. Madu, Shola.
We are the people. We are the power of the people. Africa we are not against the open crazy but what we are against is the provision that see 20% of our community land to herdsmen, to herders, to killers, to marauders, to stealers, to rapists, to thieves, to others. We are against the Edo State. We cannot be rugarized. Can you be rugarized? No. Other than by you, can you be rugarized? We say no to cattle ruga. We say no to cattle colony. We say no to 20% land. For cattle rearers. Cattle rearing is a private business. Cattle rearing is a private business. If you work for a farm, Edo State is not for land. Edo State land is not for rapists. Edo State land is not for killer herdsmen. We say no to 20% civil of our land for cattle rearing. Human land for that land. In Soleto, Today we are protesting. I'm telling you, our land was our inheritance. I don't like the collective patrimony and no government, or any can't be a portion of our land every we are protesting this morning to say Capital Detrimental to the plan by the state government to legalize Cattle hearing is a private business. That much business, we don't know the interest of government or the private business. You can see that the people are clearly rejecting colonization. I wonder what is not we cannot afford to table magma the protest. Communities in Edolas, and now the government wants to take it upon itself. Use it to steal our land, to kill our herdsmen, and we are saying no to such decision. We are saying no to such injurious and satanic things. It was not the past. That particular thing was the scourge. And that's what we do. After the door, we are going there to usher them, our whole community, as to this very forget matter. Thank you, God bless you. I don't know. For us, after you successfully sold our library, people, be careful. So there is so the land. Let us know it's God. He sold all our land. Leave our land for us. No 20% for Ruka. You cannot Rukalize those states. Nobody can Rukalize those states. No to Rukalization. We are telling them this is a friendly warning. Yes, a friendly warning. That's what from there. We say if you are going to give land
Yes, my name is We have the coalition of civil society organizations. We have student union, community-based organizations. We have come out today in mass to say no to government proposed ceding of communal land to Herdsmen or Ruga or cattle colony. Cattle rearing is a private business. It's a private business. Whoever that wish to establish cattle rearing should go, like every other business, to go and acquire their individual lands and establish their business. The state government did not give land to my grandfather to farm. We have many farmers, either of fisheries, piggery, berrying, etc. It is not the state government that gave them land to farm. They acquired their individual land. Why will the state government be concerned about cattle rearing? That they have resolved to give up to 20% of communal land, arable lands in every community to herders for Ruga. We are not against anybody coming to Edo State to Benin Kingdom for business, but we do not want the state government to engage our future, the future of our poor children, to engage the Benin Kingdom. We are saying no to clause 57 that propose ceding of communal land to Fulani Herdsmen. The state government, like I said, have no business in a private business. We are aware that there is a conspiracy between the Edo State government and the federal government to establish Ruga in this state. We will not allow it. We will do everything possible within our powers as a citizen to stand against every unjust law. Any law that tends to engage the future of our people, we will stand against it. This morning we say no to ceding of Edo communal land for cattle rearing.
they were not in the background, I think when we are challenged like this, the public has to be aware of what we are doing. And I think most of the work he has been doing has been within him and his employed members of the House Assembly. So we are saying no to that. I mean, there has to be consultation. We have to see states. I'm sure that most states don't agree with this. Why Edo State? Why Edo State? I mean, he has to have a retake. And any law passed by House Assembly that is not being recognized, it's not recognized law. Because, I mean, the government is for the people. And it's for the people. Then they discuss what we are wrong. And that's what is really happening. If you cannot give us land to farm, you cannot give us land to do history, you cannot give us land to do the weapon not take our land like we beat ourselves and we lose ourselves. Thank you.
We shall always fight for Freedom coming by struggle. Freedom coming. Isolato.
Another challenge, this one Aruga challenge, another challenge, this one Aruga challenge. I don't see the woman where arrested for revolution now. So I protest.
All comrades, behind the banner. Behind the banner.
Everybody behind the banner. Apart from the media, every other person is behind the banner. If you are top, please not behind the banner.
I was going to protest 2 weeks ago, and we were waiting patiently to check. And we don't know.
Isoleto. Isoleto. In Africa. Isoleto. In Africa. Isoleto. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight our rights. Freedom comes by struggle. Oh, freedom comes by struggle, by struggle. Freedom comes. Freedom comes by struggle. Oh, freedom comes by struggle, by struggle. Freedom comes. Freedom comes by struggle. Oh, freedom comes by struggle, by struggle. Freedom comes. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome today. Give me a heart. We shall overcome today. Isoleto. Africa. Africa. We are here this morning.
Yes.
Coalition of Civil Society Group, Student Union, Community-Based Organization, religious body, in unison, to say no to the proposed Cede of Edo communal land for cattle rearing. Cattle rearing is a private business, yes, like every other business. Yes, so therefore, the state government have no business in giving Edo state land, community land, to private businessmen. Everyone here, majority of us are farmers. Yes, our grandfathers, our fathers are farmers. See, the state government give land to our fathers in the village to farm. No. Why do the state government want to give our land to herdsmen for cattle rearing? That is the question we have come to ask our honorable, the Edo State House of Assembly. Yes, we are aware of the criminal activities of these herdsmen in Edo State, yes, and in Nigeria at large. Yes, so the state government and the federal government is overwhelmed, yes, so by the killings and the wanton destructions of lives and property. Very correct. We have prevailed over time on the government to come up with a law to prohibit open grazing and to provide for security for the farmers and inhabitants of the state. The state government, in time not too long, called a town hall meeting to chart way forward on the activities of the herdsmen in the state. In that meeting, the state governor, His Excellency, Governor Godwin Obaseki, specifically said that Edo State does not have land. That Edo State cannot give land to private businessmen. That's true. We all applauded the governor. We were happy because at the time he took side with the people. But very unfortunately, shortly after that meeting, the state governor evaporated from Edo State and condensed in Atopia. We saw in the news after months pepper souping and kidnapping. When the powers that be in Nazareth, we heard in the news that the governor
Yes.
suddenly changed his stance on the open grazing law.
Yes.
And he said
Yes.
that he has come to Abuja
Yes.
to solicit for funds
Yes.
to establish
Yes.
cattle colony
Yes.
in Edo State.
Yes.
We are saying no.
Yes.
We are saying no.
Africa.
Soleto, we Africa.
Soleto.
Honorable proposed 20%.
Africa. Amanda. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our rights. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our rights.
This will let you,
Africa.
Mr. Speaker and members of the House. My name is Comrade Curtis Okpebo, the Interim Coordinator General Edo Civil Society Organization. We are a coalition of civil society organizations in Edo State, religious group, student union, and community-based organizations. I have with me several other civil society players in the state. Beside me, Comrade Kola, we have Comrade Idope, Barrister St. Michael, we have Comrade Chak, we have Comrade Nusa Owas, we have Comrade Kelly, and several others. And they are all representing different civil society and community-based organizations. With due respect, Mr. Speaker, we have before us a communique, our position paper. Our time will not permit us to read through. All right, Mr. Speaker, sir. Time will not permit us to read through the entire content of our communique. But I'll read the heading and go straight to the issue why we are here. Coalition of civil society groups, student union, community-based organizations, and other stakeholders today being 21st March 2012 protest against Edo State government proposed ceding community lands to killer herdsmen for Ruga cattle rear. Mr. Speaker, sir, we are aware of the criminals and the monstrous activities of herdsmen in Edo State and Nigeria at large. And as it stands, not even the federal government are able to devise a means to stop the killings and the destruction of the herdsmen all over the country. As we speak, sir, more than 10 communities in Edo State are under siege and almost in a total extinction. Mr. Speaker, over time we have agitated and we are still agitating for the state government to come up with anti-open grazing bill. At a time, the South governors came together and agreed that they will stop open grazing in the entire southern region. As we speak, eventually all the states in the region have implemented that law to prohibit open grazing and to provide maximum security for farmers and inhabitants of their various states. Sometime not too long, Mr. Speaker, the state government called a town hall meeting to chart way forward on the activities or rather the clash between farmers and herders in the state. You were in that meeting, Mr. Speaker, where the governor specifically told us that Edo State do not have land to give to private business. We agreed in that meeting that shortly after that meeting, executive bill will be transmitted to the State House of Assembly for immediate legislation. We were taken aback.
Surprise.
Mr. Speaker, we were perplexed.
You're surprised.
Oh, we're crying.
Bamboozled.
Seeing the governor in Aso Villa, stooping and bestouting with the president. Shortly, we heard in the news that the governor has gone to Abuja to solicit for funds to establish Ranchi or Ruga. We asked, what is the business of the government in private business? These are these cattle rearing. Mr. Speaker, you are aware, like every other Nigerians, that the federal government of Nigeria, led by President Muhammadu Buhari, came up with a law, the Ruga law or policy, and the cattle colony policy, which the Nigerian people rose up, stood against vehemently that law. And they have been finding one way or the other to introduce it to the people. We are also taking aback, Mr. Speaker, seeing in the news that the bill is before the Edo State House of Assembly, and a section or a clause of that bill, precisely for Slide 7, proposed that the state government will see up to 20% of arable lands in the country.
You said no! You said no!
Mr. Speaker, sir, we are here just for a purpose. To tell the Edo State government that the Edo people will not sit or give not even 1%, not even 1% of our land to headers for Ruga, for cattle colony, or for ranching. It is very simple, sir. We have demands and recommendations in our position paper. But the message, sir, the private businessmen who want to invest in cattle rearing, like my father in my village or my grandfather in my village, acquire their farmlands for farming. They should go their separate way to go and sort out for land to do their business. It is not the business.
Not so.
Not so. The only thing that the state government needs to do, Mr. Speaker, is to set up a committee or a task force to monitor, to regulate the activities of the headers or the cattle rearers. It is very simple, Mr. Speaker. That is why we have format in a very diplomatic manner to tell you, sir, that section and every other section that tend to legalize the criminal activities of this Herdsmen should be totally expunged. Mr. Speaker, we will not hesitate to remain in the streets should in case the readings continue. We will not also hesitate to ensure we take our destinies in our hands to defend our land. Mr. Speaker, honorables in the House, there should be a town hall meeting to this effect. the Edo State House of Assembly should immediately call for a town hall meeting,
A public hearing.
a public hearing, so that you can get the input, the opinion, and suggestions of the people. Because the law you are making, sir, is for the people,
Yes, sir.
not for those who sit next to the
Yes, sir.
Congress. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for coming out to receive us. Isoleto, Africa.
Amanda! Amanda!
The last time now, commissioner lost for the law for the Mr. Speaker, I will remember.
Isoleto,
Africa!
Africa,
Isoleto!
Aluta,
Continua!
Victoria,
Asaka!
I
want to thank you on behalf of my colleagues for the peaceful manner that come out this morning to hear from your representatives, to register your feelings. We are representatives of the people. You are the people of Edo State. We are here to make laws and oversight on behalf of the people. You are the people. The issues we are talking about, we are taking responsibility to deal with those issues because we know we are doing it for the people.
One closer for the speaker. One for the enemy.
I wouldn't want to keep you for too long, but just to join you to say that the same right you have as an Edo man, same right I have. I am only privileged to be here today to preside over this great institution on behalf of the people. And I join you to say that not an inch of Edo land will be ceded to Now, you recall that we had a town hall meeting to discuss the issue that had to do with the ban on the open grazing
October level,
precisely, sir. And I did make a statement that we were going to take the position of the people. This bill got to us sometimes, the executive bill got to us sometimes in February this year. And today is 21st of March. You will agree with me that ever since this bill got to the House, we had not done anything in secrecy. In fact, if there's any bill that has enjoyed robust engagement and discussion, it is this anti-open grazing bill. Now, to dispel the rumors making around that there's a proposition that 20% of arable land in the community, government intend to cede those land. It is not true, and it is not possible. It cannot happen in our time. Even when we are not here, we will not allow it to happen. Just to dispel those rumors and fears. And you all know that government responsibility is to protect lives and properties. And one of those things that government help to do when it comes to encouraging economic activities in the state is to create an enabling environment for investors. I grew up in the village. Today we are talking about cattle. There are other people who are also into other animal husbandry and what have you. These people go to source for land, secure those lands, and possibly get government approval to do their business. Government does not intend and will not take community land to give to anybody to do his own private business. Now, the bill before us, government is trying to, their proposal is that this house give legislative backing for government to have a regulatory body so that people don't go and connive with communities and come to say they have now acquired land, thereby causing breach of security to other neighboring communities. So if you must do any business that had to do with cattle, government will now regulate your activity. Yes. For instance, if you come to say you have XY hectares of land in Irekpe, you must be able to explain to government how you came about that land and what you intend to do with it. If government gives you permits and they see that you are going to do something else, government will also withdraw that permit and even revoke such land. Government does not intend. Where are the lands? When we are already talking about deforestation, our reserves are no longer there because of community issues. They're not going to community to destroy government reserves. Then the ones we don't have, we now give to for people's private business. It is not possible. So just to thank you that you heard rumors. Instead of you taking to the streets, you choose to come in a very civic manner to engage us and to know the facts of this matter. And the clause 5, subsection 7 that you are talking about, I don't know if you have seen that bill as a matter of fact. It says that the committee shall regulate the activities and area where anybody come forth to, carry out ranching. For instance, if you now find 3 communities, that have boundaries together, and some persons mischievously go and say they are now through whether the youth development or the young ways acquire those areas, government have right to tell them we are not giving you permission to do all of that. So your colleagues who are also doing same assignment and business as you, they left here a while ago, and they made a very important point, which we have taken note of, that lack of information, proper communication. And I want to promise you that we will bridge the gap. We will now continually communicate with you. Yes. We will not pass a law that we will become victims of, but rather we will pass a law that guarantees peace and security for the people of Edo State. So we will look at your documents and give it a critical consideration. And in the next few days, you are going to hear from us and to assure you that the issue of 20% or even 1% or an inch, it is not true. We will not allow it. This house will not pass it, and we will not encourage any house, even after now, to dabble into such issues. So please go about your peaceful deliberation on these issues. And if there are other areas where you feel you need more information, we are always here. Our doors are open to engage you. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker and honorable members. Just quickly, I think we need to entertain 1 or 2 questions from our committee for proper clarification.
Okay, my name is Comrade Kelly Usobomokao, the president of Faculty of Peace Organization. Okay, my name is Comrade Kelly Usobomokao. I'm the president of Faculty of Peace Organization, one of the organizations that form the coalition for this protest. So I want to ask you, when is Edo State government and this house coming with a bill to prohibit open grazing, like your other states have done in the southern part of Nigeria? As it stands today, it's only Edo State that don't pass such bill. And that bill, like what we said the other day, that bill also provides for
security for having a security network to also protect our land, property, and life in Edo State. So when are you going to pass that law so that we can join other states? Thank you. Thank you for this question. It's very explicit. I will explain a bit the process for which a bill is passed. First, executive bill is being transmitted to the House. We give it first reading and second reading. At the second reading of the bill, we discuss the merit and demerit of the bill, if that bill should fly, which we have done. After the second reading, which means that this bill has survived, we commit such a bill to committee. And the committee, in this case, had 2 weeks to report back. The committee did submitted its reports, and we are now at what we call committee of the whole, where we discuss clause to clause of that bill, so that if there are any errors, we correct it and eventually pass the bill. So now answer your question very clearly. That bill is at the last lap of passage, and as we speak, there are security, like you mentioned, issues embedded in that bill that will help to guarantee life and property of this bill, which is the reason why I feel that this engagement, we need to quickly do what we need to do, so that these criminals will not take advantage of the position to start carrying out their nefarious activities. So I have assured you that there is no part of this bill that suggests that a part of the land anywhere in Edo be ceded to anyone for business purposes, but rather it provides a committee that will now regulate activities. And also, this bill also provides, some kind of arrangement that will create an employment for our people. For instance, if you have an area for ranching, it means that those cattle will be confined to those areas. People will now have to grow cow feeds and sell to those people who are doing this business, and thereby creating employment. What has led to this agitation today is that Edo people heard that there were some parts of land that government want to take and give out. We have told you today that it is not true. We will not be involved in it, and we will not pass such a bill. Otherwise, the bill is at the final stage of passage. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Another Vice President. Yes, we have heard from you, but we still want to appeal. Now, what? Comrade Solomon Ijogba is my name. We want to appeal that when you are considering your committee, although it's part of our recommendation, you must ensure it's a robust committee. Security agencies must be represented, leaders, religious groups, youth, civil society, organized labor, so that it will be farmers, so that it can be like a capturing everybody. That's on the one side. Quickly, sir. The House of Assembly, as we know, is a representative of the people. They are like a mouthpiece of the people, because you see the governor and you are the government at your own right. Over and over again, we have cried, day and night, of the Edo Specialist Hospital and the Central Hospital. It's supposed to be a monument in places like the United States or the United Kingdom. It's like a monument because it's lived over almost 100 years or more. But Mr. Speaker, civil society practitioners and activists in these states have cried again and again over the demolition of the Central Hospital. Mr. Speaker, we know it is the action and the authority of Mr. Governor. There is a divide between the legislators and the executive. But I said this to you today, or we speak this today because you are our representative. We have not gotten any feedback whatsoever on the reason why the Central Hospital is being moved, relocated, demolished, reassigned, destabilized. Because if you say you are asking the Central Hospital to go to Stella Obasanjo is a death sentence because you have not been able to arrest the issue of traffic on Sapele Road. Anybody sick between Ring Road and Sapele Road, you have sentenced the person to death. The issue of the other particular has not been resolved. And you are moving Central Africa to where? And we are continually asked, who is Edo? Because it is not Edo State Specialist Hospital, it's Edo Specialist Hospital. Is it Edo Kawere or Edo Odio? And so, Mr. Speaker, we are encouraging and we are appealing to the House. So, just like you have mentioned, this communication gap is causing a lot of issues in Edo State. The government and the governor of the state should be able to reach out to the players. We are stakeholders in the development of Edo State so that we can know what is happening. At a point, like I said, when we came to talk about his rumor, we have also heard here rumor of bush radio, if you like. That the Central Hospital will be turned into a commercial park, just like the way we had that the library was becoming a shop right. And today is a shop right.
That's what we did a year.
That's what we did also here.
No statement.
Oba Karaye will be a central motor park, and we know what became the aftermath of the building of the central motor park because of the actions of government. Why? Because of lack of communication and interaction. Government is a social engineering or social engagement too. We are holding government in trust for the people, and we want to appeal to you as our representative, as our mouthpiece, as our people, as our person. Let the government come out to tell us what they are doing
In Central
at the Central Hospital. I beg and I beg. Thank you very much.
Isolate!
Africa!
Thank you for this robust engagement. I am not aware of any official communication from the civil society organization as regards your requests to know what is going on at Central Hospital. If we get communication to that effect, this is your house, we will get back to you on that. But just to inform our people, interestingly, you mentioned Stella Obasanjo Hospital and talked about the issue of traffic, which is the main essence of now having to activate all our PHCs, primary health centers, across the 192 wards. Not one per ward, but you virtually now find these health facilities at every given point where you go to. And if there are issues at that primary health center, issues that they cannot address, they will make referrals to specialist institutions. But however, you have raised your concerns. Let us have it in
Black and white. You shall get it.
Then we will get back to you on that. God bless you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Governor never activate PSU. Kelly.
The guy will not come and ask for the secrets. No, I think it's what I say. The guy
Hey, they come.
support anti-open grazing law that there should be a stop to open grazing. But we don't support that law. We say 20% of our land they consider give farmer. We dey say cattle rearing is a private business. People
Excuse me, sir.
The essence for this project this morning.
Yes, we peregrinated from our cocoons. We evaporated from our various houses, condensed at Edo State House of Assembly to say Cabudo Rejetamenta to the purported plan by Edo State governor to cede a portion of our land to killer Herdsmen to do their private businesses, putting into perspective the monstrous, the outrageous, the odious, the odoriferous, and scandalous activities of these dreaded Herdsmen that have caused sorrow, years, and blood. Last year, about 7 months ago, Central Governors met, where it was resolved, amongst other things, that governors should send an executive bill and the open grazing bill to the houses of assembly. Other governors have done theirs. Other governors have signed the bill to law. It took the governor about 5 or 6 months to consider the executive bill, and he unanimously sent the bill to the House of Assembly without the input of the people. There is a controversial, there is a satanic, there is a luciferic clause 57, that gives governor the opportunity to set up a committee that will determine the portion of land that will be ceded to these killer Herdsmen. Some members of the Edo State House of Assembly objected. Roland Asoro from Oriomo local government area, his local government area has suffered the satanic activities of these dreaded Herdsmen, suggested that we should give 20% of our community land to these killer Herdsmen to further kill our people, to further rape mayhem, to further cause mayhem in our communities. While some suggested 10%, so we are saying that 1% of our land should not be ceded to these killer Herdsmen. Some of these big politicians are cattle owners. They hold some of the cows we have in Edo State. They want to use this law to grab our land to themselves to do their own private business, while our farmers continue to lament their lamentation because of the fact that no land. We are saying no to ceding of our land to killer Herdsmen. Anybody that is interested in cattle rearing business, let the person go and purchase a portion of land and do his business in lieu of Nicodemously grabbing our land to these killer Herdsmen in the name of ranching. We are saying no, that obnoxious clause should be abrogated with immediate effect. And that is the reason why we peregrinated to the Edo State House of Assembly to vent or to say Capital Rejetamenta to that controversial, to that satanic clause. Thank you.
I beg.
When last the speaker went to the government hospital to take care of himself?
What by water?
This is one fence. This is one fence.
Down this way.
Wait, sir.
If the governor cannot tell it, let's prepare. Just West and Agenda. No matter what you this work. West and Agenda.
I don't have it.
You know, you just talk on. So you can have this. Wait, but no. All they are saying is that all we are saying is that the government should not concede 20% of our land to anybody. Because anybody that is interested in ranching or Ruga's business should acquire his own land, do his business as usual. We are not after anybody, but all we are saying is that my father's land cannot be given to government or anybody who ranching. This is what we are saying. All we are preaching is that the government should not concede 20% of our land to anybody. This is why we are out. Thank you.